Well, he is the youngest driver to win the Daytona 500. His name is Trevor Bayne, and Trevor joins us on the Rick and Bubba Celebrity Hotline. Trevor Bayne, welcome to the Rick and Bubba Show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning, guys. How are you all?
Look, fired up. You know what I'm also excited about? I heard you started shaving this week.
Man, that's messed up. I've been shaving for at least 2 weeks now. So.
Trevor, what an amazing story you have been. Catch us up to date a little bit on your story for people not familiar with where you came from.
Yeah, tell us the Trevor Bayne story in a nutshell. I mean, obviously, you became a name that people were familiar with after winning the Daytona 500, but tell us your story.
Well, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. I grew up there since I was probably, a month old. I was born in South Carolina, actually, but moved to Knoxville. I was a month old. And on my 5th birthday, I got a go-kart. I'd been riding dirt bikes since I was like 3, and my parents thought I was getting a little bit crazy, so they thought I was going to get hurt. So they figured 4 wheels was better than 2 and put me on a go-kart at 5 years old. We went racing. And my dad's dad used to race around South Carolina, and so he knew a lot about it and kind of got me started. And, it just took off from there, really. We won world championships in karting. We ended up moving to the Allison Legacy Series, which is like a 3/4 scale car, and then to Hooters Pro Cup, which is a full-size stock car when I was 15 years old with 650 horsepower. So, really similar to a nationwide car. Then I ran the Camping World East Series for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, the Nationwide Series for Diamond Waltrip Racing, and then now I signed with Roush and with the Wood Brothers for this season. So,
Wow.
It's been a fast little journey. We won the Daytona 500 this year at 20 years old, and so it's been a little bit faster even now. So it's been a really, really cool career so far.
Yeah, that'll crank it into hyperdrive. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, I have a daughter who's older than you, and I have a son the same age as you, and I just can't imagine this being put on you at 20 years of age. Now, before the season, you have to declare now nationwide or Sprint Cup, and you declared nationwide, but you're still running, 19 Sprint Cup races?
Yes, sir. We had planned to run 17 originally, and now I think we picked up 2 more races because of the 500. Obviously we ran Martinsville with some of that money, and hopefully we're going to pick up some sponsorship for the All-Star race. So we'll add that one to the list as well, and then run the full-time nationwide deal, so we'll stay busy.
Well, Trevor, it's obviously you're a very talented young man, a very talented racer, and we're looking forward to big things from you. But tell us a little bit, too, about your spiritual convictions, because I know you have some charities that are very close to your heart, but just kind of your belief system and some other things that we're fired up about as we see you rise to the top of the heap.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been really cool. And when I say I've had a awesome and fast career, it's not because of anything I've done. I mean, it was a little bit of being dedicated, but, I've definitely, God's been a huge impact in my life, and I just, He's blessed me in so many ways and taken care of me, and even through the struggles, it gives me something else to live for. If I was to find out every race right now, I'd be on a low. So, and Daytona would have been a huge high. So, to have something, to have my faith and have Christ, I mean, that's the most important thing to me.
Hey, Trevor, let me ask you this: if you were tutoring a new driver, let's just say me and Rick had decided we were going to take up driving, and we were going to get out there, what would be one of the first things that you would tell us that you've got to learn if you're going to run with the big boys?
Well, I would just say you got to be there at the end of the race, and that's one of the things I'm learning right now. The Cup races are so long that you just got to survive it. You got to be there at the end, and you can make your car better during the pit stops. And a lot of times you get wrapped up battling somebody for 30th, and you crash. And really, in all reality, if you would have just rode it out, if they're better than you, let them go. Work on your car and get better and make it to the end of the race, you'd probably finish top 20. So, patience is so key. But then also, it's like, I call it patiently aggressive. It's such a tough balance to find, because if you just ride around and act like you're being patient, then the leaders will be there in a second to lap you, and then you'll be in trouble. So you got to find that balance of just being patient but still getting the most out of your race car.
Coming up to Talladega next weekend, it is, of course, the Aaron's Dream Weekend. The ARCA Series comes in on Friday, the Nationwide Series on Saturday, and, of course, the Sprint Cup Series on Sunday. Talladega, you won't go any faster than you'll go there, but seeing your performance at Daytona, I guess that's that there's a lot of similarities between Talladega and Daytona. Do you think that's giving you an advantage going into the Aaron's Dream weekend?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the reason we're actually running Talladega. We hadn't planned on running that at the beginning of the season, and then we ran so good at Daytona, we're like, man, we got to go to Talladega. We got to go see if we can do it again. So that's the whole reason for us going there.
It's a wild ride out at Talladega. Have you been talking to some of the guys? I'm sure you've already tested there, and maybe you've run a nationwide race there. But have you talked to some of the veterans about you talk about patience and being aggressive at the same time? There's no place where that's more real than Talladega.
Exactly, and that's kind of what we saw at Daytona this year since they repaved it, was a lot like the Talladega race. And I've raced there one time in the Nationwide Series. I think we finished 11th, and then I've never tested. Well, I've tested there one time, so not a whole bunch of tracks on there. But Talladega is one of the tracks where if you know how to draft, you can do it. You can get around there. It's not so much the track that's hard to drive. It's really smooth. They did a great job paving it. So it's more so just knowing how to work the draft and keep yourself out of trouble. And that's kind of why I chose to be the pusher the whole race at the 500 was just, I knew I could stay out of trouble if I was the guy in the back, and I could back off if I needed to or whatever. So we'll kind of go into Talladega with that same kind of mindset.
Well, Trevor, what an honor to talk to you, brother. And I'm honored that you'll be coming into our home state of Talladega next weekend. Tickets are still available. You can get all the information by going to rickandbubba.com in the show notes today. So, Trevor, keep up the good work. Keep honoring Christ in everything you do. And we're anxious to see what God has for you next.
Good luck, brother.
All right, guys. I appreciate y'all having me on. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Trevor.
Trevor Bayne. We'll be back. It's 17 minutes past the hour.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.